Guys, I am Lindsay. This is my first video that I am doing from user request. I actually read a ton of comments from you guys asking me to review the XEBEX Trekker. My heart was full knowing people are actually watching these videos and actually commenting real things that are, wow, she sounds terrible. What is her voice about? She sounds like Mickey Mouse.
Hot dog! Hot dog!
So thank you from the bottom of my heart and my high-pitched voice for commenting and actually requesting me to review this. This is the XEBEX Trekker, but before we get into the details, make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Also, if you want to go ahead and purchase this, we have a link below the like button. Lastly, this is a transparent review like all my other reviews, so I'm always honest about what I say. Let's talk more of the details about this Trekker. Now, I do have a small video of me talking about the XEBEX SledTrack 6000, which is one of my favorite treadmills. And because of that, a lot of you commented and asked me to review this Trekker. Now, this is from XEBEX, and it is similar to the SledTrack in some ways, but obviously different in a lot of other ways. One, this is more than half the cost of the SledTrack 6000. However, I wouldn't say it's great for running, whereas the SledTrack 6000 is primarily used for running. Can do incline, can do decline. You do have that sled push factor. This is primarily used for three things. So hiking, trekking, and then the sled push. Now on the website, it does say that you can run on this, and I do think you can. However, it's not going to be like a full out uphill sprint. There is a little bit more of a jog to it. Even when I am at the lightest resistance, I wasn't able to really push the pace, but I was able to get my heart rate up pretty good. The overall cost of this machine is $1,099. This is a compact user-driven machine, meaning it does not have any motor function to it. And it is different than a manual treadmill. So this is actually set at two inclines, either a 22% incline or 27% incline. The incline is also manual adjusted. So manual adjustment is fine. It's not my favorite. I mean, the big deal is if I want to change from a 22 to a 27, I have to get off of the track. I have to go ahead and manually change it myself, but ultimately it's not that big of a deal. I will also say that when I was testing this, there wasn't this huge difference in effort from me when I went from a 22 to a 27. The only thing I really noticed about that difference of incline is that I was able to run a little bit more easy. And I think that's just because of the angle and the tread just started working its way around. For me, I'm around 125 pounds, so I actually am going to have a different experience of speed and moving that tread around than somebody who's 200 pounds. Like they're going to be able to move that belt around a lot quicker. So for that, I think that the resistance levels are going to change based on your weight. For instance, it has 9 resistance levels. So your first 3 resistance levels are actually your hardest, and then your next 3 are a little easier, your last 3 are the easiest and don't offer a ton of resistance. When I was using the resistance levels at that like 7, 8, 9, it was obviously a lot easier and I was able to run using those resistance levels. But when I have 1, 2, 3 levels of resistance set, I am absolutely not able to run. Those are going to be more focused on something like your sled pushes. And I actually think that the resistance profile on this is pretty decent. That's something that I have a common complaint with treadmills like this. Even called it out on the XEBEX SledTrack 6000 that I do wish the resistance profile was a little bit more. However, the resistance on this, when I was at level 1, I mean, I was full on pushing. Adeline went ahead and assembled this for us. She said that for the most part, this was a pretty easy assembly. The only kind of trouble she came into when she had to align the bolts at the bottom base. When she did that, she had to have her husband Sam come in. You guys know Sam, he's the best. Actually kind of maneuver the legs around in order for those bolts to align because they weren't aligned perfectly. This did take some effort and a lot of kind of like two-man power in order to get that put together. So that's kind of like the biggest thing knowing going into it. If you are going to assemble this, I say absolutely grab somebody to help you with that. I think a couple of the biggest benefits to having a Trekker like this is if you are somebody who, again, is training for like incline hiking, trekking, or you want to burn a lot of calories really fast. So your levels 1 through 3, absolutely great. For sled pushes, I thought the resistance profile was great on them. I was able to actually fully use the handlebars, fully push the tread down, and I felt a huge burn. Levels 4, 5, and 6 were great for somebody who's wanting to do a little faster walk, not engage that like sled push function. And then levels 6, 7, and 8 were great for those wanting to do a fast-paced walk, get your heart rate up, have it be a little bit more cardio intensive. Because this does not require any sort of power, you just have batteries for the LCD screen, you can go ahead and easily move this around. The total weight of the machine is only 143 pounds. It has wheels on the back end, and truthfully, I mean, it did just feel ultra lightweight, really easy to move around. It does come with a locking mechanism on the deck. One thing I will say is make sure that that is locked into place. There was a couple times where I thought it was locked, and I went to pull on the belt deck and it actually disengaged. So just be sure that it is actually locked into that pinhole. The total footprint of the machine is 60 inches long, 28 inches wide, and then 60 inches tall. When it comes to the belt itself, it does have belt guides at the base of it underneath that will help the belt stay centered, so you don't have to worry about it falling off track at all. This is a shorter deck, only 18 inches wide by 51 inches long. Now again, like 51 inches long is not what I would consider like a long enough deck for a lot of running, but at an incline and as I was using it, I didn't see any problem with it, even as I was jogging. And again, like I am not full out sprinting here. I really don't think you have the ability to do that on this machine. But for a light jog, I think it's totally fine. One comparison I would make aside from comparing it to the XEBEX SledTrack 6000 is comparing it to the Bell Steel Blitz Mountain Climber, which I actually just shot a video review on. I think that that is super similar. Now, there are a couple differences with that. One, the Blitz Mountain Climber is motorized, and it does have an incline from -5 all the way up to 50%. With the XEBEX, you don't have any sort of decline. You just have those fixed inclines at 22 and 27%. I think the intention behind both of these machines is for people who are wanting to do a lot of incline work. However, keep in mind with the Blitz, it doesn't have any sort of added resistance profile. It is a motorized treadmill and it recommends not to run on it. With the Trek, it is user driven, has those fixed incline points, and then you are actually able to run on it. Another benefit, you have that huge resistance where you're able to do more of a sled mimicking motion. Another thing I liked about the Trek is that it had well-placed handlebars that I was able to do a lot of backwards walking on. So if that's something that's important to you, I think that the Trek actually really nailed it. The screen itself is a very basic LCD screen, but it does allow you to do some interval programming. I actually liked the interval programming that it allowed me to do. You can choose like a 10-20, a 20-10, or a custom split. You can go ahead and pick the level of resistance for each interval. Let's say you want to do sled pushes on the 10 and then you want to run on the 20 seconds, you are able to do that. So I did like that. It made it a little fun. It made it challenging in a different way. They also have target distance and then target calorie programs that you can choose from as well. Last two things that I do want to say about this, it does come set to kilometers, so you can change that. So just know going in, if you're like, wait a second, this is in kilometers, you can go ahead and change that. Also, the weight capacity on this is 265 pounds. I do wish it was a little higher. I mean, we see a lot of treadmills hit around that 300 mark, so it is a little bit lighter for the weight capacity. Overall, my final thoughts on this, I think if you are somebody looking to get some sled pushes in, incline training, trekking, hiking at an incline, this is great. I think the price is actually really good, especially when I compare it to something like the XEBEX SledTrack 6000 or the Bell Steel Mountain Blitz Climber, all around that $3,000 mark, where this is closer to that $1,000 mark. If you have tried this machine, if you are going to try this machine, let us know in the comments below what you think about it. If you buy it, let me know because I actually do like this. And for the right person, I think you are going to get a lot of quality use out of it. But let me know in the comments below. This has been Lindsay with Garage Reviews. Peace. I'm sweaty.